Hi everyone. Good afternoon. おはようございます。I'm Freodore, designer of NIJISANJI EN's 11th unit. By the beat. NIJISANJI EN 所属 By the beat のビジュアルセンスがこだわりのデザイナーフリオドールです。And today, I am not sleepy. 今回、眠くない。I woke up pretty early today. I'm still living my proper human being sleep schedule, so I am not sleepy for once. It feels quite refreshing actually to not wake up all sleepy and say, okay, time to do the coffee Zatsu. さ、マジで珍しいね。僕はいつもまあ日本語時間みたいにコーヒー雑談前に起きて眠くて配信始まるけど、今回はちゃんと大人の寝るリズムしてるがあるから、今回はこっちの朝に起きました。起きたわ。いい感じだよ。なんかちゃんと起きてるな感じするから。健康的な感じやるね。I feel healthy. Let's see how long that will last. I am completely sure that after our event next weekend in Taiwan, it's gonna go bad again. So I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts. まあ必ず、来週の台湾イベントの後で、寝るリズムはまたボロボロになると思うから、じゃあとりあえずちゃんとエンジョイするわ。鶏の生活。I'm gonna enjoy the chicken life while it lasts for now. But yeah, no. Happy to be here for another coffee Zatsu. So how about we introduce today's beans? They're also from Proud Mary Coffee. These are my last beans from Proud Mary that I ordered back when the Black Friday sale was happening. So I'm excited. These ones are single origin and not a blend. So じゃあ今日のお豆を紹介しましょうか。これはブラックフライデーセールでProud Mary お店の買った豆は最後のね。けど今回はブレンドじゃなくてシングルオリジンだ。So, this is gonna be the information and the beans for today. We're gonna be using the same recipe we have been using this past 4 or 5 coffee Zatsus. The reason for that is being since these are my first time trying these beans, I kind of want to use my reliable recipe to be able to compare and have a good idea of what variables to change if I want something different. 今回もいつも通りのレシピで入れてみますね。初めて味わってみるから、まあもう結構分かってるレシピ使いたいと思いますね。So, we're gonna be using the Origami RM dripper. But anyone that's trying out can also use a regular V60 just fine. The recipe is going to be the 2-pour method by Lance Hedrick. And the filter is going to be the Cafec TH3 drip filter. As I usually say, my favorite filters, very fast drain. Very good for coarse grind, not very long brew time recipes. Now, I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, but I believe it's Aracho Sal Benedito. That's the name of this coffee bean from Proud Mary Coffees. It's a coffee bean from Brazil, single origin of the red Katusai variety. And the processing is a honey processed coffee bean. For those that are not familiar, there are 2 main types of coffee processing. That's gonna be the washed, where you remove the pulp of the fruit from the bean and then completely wash the bean, then drying in the processing process. And then there's a natural one, or the organic one, where you don't remove the pulp while processing the coffee bean. Now, honey is a little bit of a middle point, where you do remove the fruit of the bean, but you do not wash off the mucilage, the kind of nectar that stays from the fruit. So that's why it's called honey, because it gives the bean retains a kind of a slimy mucilage that is used when drying, and that affects the flavor in the processing of the bean. So for the notes, we're going to be doing a milk chocolate, the notes for the bean are apparently milk chocolate, brown sugar, and caramel. So it seems pretty sweet. Very sweet, not floral at all. So very curious. Very curious. And then the roast, I believe it is light. This blender does not really indicate the roast levels in right, medium, dark, but instead it does mild, wild, and curious. So this time it's mild according to the bag. So that's what we're going to be doing. The beans, we're going to be doing 15 grams of beans, 250 grams of water at 90... wait, let me change that. I don't want to do 95 degrees Celsius. We're going to be doing 93 degrees. Oh, not 3 degrees. That's too cold. 93 degrees Celsius. We're going to be doing a coarse grind, which would be 30 clicks on my Comandante C40. And then the recipe, the 2-pour method, is pretty simple. We do a bloom until 50 grams. We wait around 45 seconds. And then we do a turbulent pour, also known as a pour from further away, to create more turbulence until 250 grams. And then we swirl at the end so it doesn't drain too fast. This is my favorite daily recipe. It's very good for getting consistent results, and very good at being a recipe that you can do while being sleepy. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to briefly explain the same in Japanese. So, I'm going to do this. 今回は日本語で説明しますね。いつも通り折り紙 RM ドリッパー使うけど、よければハーリオビ60も他のコーンドリッパーも入れてみるね。そしていつも通りの2ステップ方法のレシピで入れてみます。ランス・ヘドリックのね。カーフェクト TH3 フィルターを使って、そして豆の名前はブラジルのラチョ・サオ・ベネディット。そして豆の種類は Red カトゥサイ。今回の生成過程は Honey っていうのプロセスですね。もう簡単に説明すると普通に Watch のプロセスで豆の果肉をなんていうの除去させるけど、そしてナチュラルプロセスで果肉を除去しないんですね。でも今回はホニーだから果肉を除去して除去すいません、今日本語はちゃんと話せないかも。果肉を除去させて、でも粘液を残りますね。粘液は mucilage。英語で多分ちゃんとこの単語は難しいから粘液かな。これは合ってるかも。粘液を残すからハニーって呼ぶね。そして今回の味はミルクチョコ、ブラウン砂糖、そしてキャラメル。焙煎は浅入りだと思うけど、ただマイルドで書いてるからライトだと思います。豆は 15g、 お湯は 250g、 93度で、そして低めは粗挽き 30、コマンダンテで30クリックだ。OK。そしてレシピは簡単に、50g まで注いで、45秒の後で、250g まで注いで、ドリッパーを少しぐるぐるして、完成します。I don't know why. It feels like maybe my Japanese is better when I'm sleepy. I don't know why I feel like I struggle to explain a little bit more this time compared to the usual. But yeah, no, I'm done. 今回は多分眠い時に日本語上手くなるかな？今回はちょっと難しい感じてたけど。まあね。So, with that being said, we finished the explanations. So we're gonna begin the ASMR section of the stream, okay? もう説明できたから、スーパーチャットじゃなくて、ASMR らの始まりますね。Super chat. I want to start reading super chats already. Maybe I am sleepy. So, gonna remove the filters and then switch the microphone setting. Thank you very much for the Streamlabs donation. Okay. There you go. I have changed the settings on the microphone, so you should be able to hear my room a little bit better. As you can see. So we're gonna start out with opening the bag. 袋を開けますね。Let's see. Opening the bag is always a little bit tricky because it's so full of beans that I don't want to waste any. Sure. Alright. Brancho Salvenito, red Katusai, pulped natural. From Melbourne, Australia, and roasted November 17th. Almost a month of roasting, okay. Gonna look at the beans, and I mean, they do look pretty light. まあ、豆を見るけど、まあ、ちゃんと浅入りみたいね。I don't know if I smell anything in particular related to the notes. Maybe like the brown sugar at most. Oh. Let's see. Let's do 15 grams. 15グラム。そぎます。Oh no, I'm spilling. This bag is too full. 豆落としてるよ。We cannot waste any of these. Okay. Alright, that's 16. We need to get rid of a few. There you go. Exactly 15. はい、15グラムだ。We're gonna spray a little bit of water to make sure that static does not get in the way. Alright. There you go. And we're gonna... I believe our commandant is already set to 30 clicks, so we don't have to reset that. もうコマンダンテを30クリックで設定したから。 豆をひきますね。I'm gonna start grinding the beans. Okay. Once again, very easy to grind. It's not hard at all. 全然硬くないね。弾きやすいよ。I believe we are done, and I should have started heating up the water. I forgot. Okay, we need to wait for the water to heat up. お湯を温めてなかったわ。ヒクするときに温めた方がいいけど。まあちょっと待ちますね。We're gonna wait a little bit. Let's get this kettle started. We're going to be doing 93 degrees Celsius. That is usually my favorite for lighter beans. I mean lighter roasts. I've tried going higher, but I don't tell much of a difference, or I notice slightly better results on 93 for me for most beans, but a lot of people really like higher temperatures for lighter roasts. I believe Proud Mary themselves actually recommends just doing it off the boil. They don't even like measure the water temperature. They just go, oh, just boil it and that's fine. So maybe it's just not even that important in the first place. Is over 100 Celsius not that good? Well, that would be that would be boiled already, right? Wouldn't that be vapor at that point? It would be bean. It would be steam. But yeah, no, usually you want to do like 86 to 88 at whatchamacallit for dark roast, around 88 to 90 for medium roast, and then around 92 to 98 for light roast. There you go, the waters. The water's heating up. It's at 66 right now. It's gonna reach 93 soon, so the time being, let's pour the wait, my grinder. Is it too sealed? Oh, there you go. Maybe I closed it a little bit too tight last time. We're gonna pour the beans onto the dripper. Sure. Make sure it's a somewhat even surface. And the water's almost ready. The temperature of the water affects the extraction of the beans. Usually, I don't want to spread misinformation, but if I'm correct, the hotter you use, the more you extract. And you usually want to extract a little bit more aggressively for lighter roasts, and then a little bit more gently for darker roasts or medium roasts because they're already pretty strong. And it's very easy to get a bitter or very acidic cup if you over extract. But 93 degrees is what I tend to like for most of my light roast, which is pretty much all I drink nowadays. All right, our water is ready, so we're gonna start. お湯を準備してるから始めましょうか。All right. So we're gonna pour 50 grams, make sure all of the beans are soaked. And we're gonna wait around 45 seconds. 50 グラムまで注いで、全部、なんていうの？なんか全部を浸るために注ぎますね。豆を。All right, it's gonna be 45 seconds, so now we're gonna be a further pour. In the center, like the shape of a nickel maybe, onto 250 grams. And then we're gonna swirl the dripper a little bit. And that should be it. I'm usually aim for like around 140 of brewing time. That's usually what I get from most of my beans. So let's see how long it lasts. We're already past 140, we're still not done. All right. Around 1 minute and 50, so that's pretty good. That's according to expectations. When it brews under 140 or 130, that's where I start getting a little bit worried that it might be under extracted. Maybe it drained a little bit too fast. But no, this was just fine. You should 普通に1分1分40秒ぐらいに目指してるね。それ以下多分ちょっと早すぎると思うから。まあけど今回は1分50秒ぐらいだったから、まあいい感じだね。スーパースティッカーありがとうございます。Thank you for the super sticker. Alright. So we finished brewing, so how about we take a smell? ちょっとLet's swirl it a little bit more to get the aromas out. 匂い出せるためにぐるぐるして。It doesn't really have a super strong aroma. 匂いがそんなに強くないね、香り。I don't think like I can capture something very specific. Like there is a smell, but I don't know if I can smell something very specific from it. なんか香りがあるけど、何かちょっとわからんね。Let's give it a try. Is it supposed to be sweet? Well, the notes say mild chocolate, brown sugar, and caramel, so that's like what it should resemble. Whether it's sweet or not, that also depends on the recipe, but usually my recipe aims for a very light, sweeter approach. But mostly balance. I aim for balance. Let's pour the coffee into our cup. to my favorite cup. If you guys are drinking something yourselves, I hope you're using your favorite cup as well. And let's see how it goes. Warning, anyone that's not good with drinking noises, I'm gonna slurp a little bit to taste it. Please beware. ちょっと注意しますね。飲むの音苦手の人にちょっとうるさくて味わってみます。Okay. One more. もう一回。It is slightly acidic, but yeah, no, it does lean more towards sweetness than something like fruity or something floral, right? Definitely. It is not super. Of course, like if you guys are picturing something like a latte or anything with sugar, it's not gonna be something that sweet, right? It's still black coffee, but there's definitely some sweetness to there that is quite pleasant. But it has sweetness and acidity in a way, but it's not too much. It's just a slight acidity at the end. まあ確かになんかフローラルやフルーティーは全然っぽくないね。結構甘くて酸味がある味だと。後味で酸味を分かってるけどそんなになんか強くないね。Which notes did you taste first? I am not sure. I think perhaps what I taste the most is probably the brown sugar. It's still kind of subtle though. It feels like more. It doesn't feel super clear in a way. It does not feel very clear. It feels like an amalgamation of like these notes. It's not like I cannot taste the different notes as much, but more as a combination of each. But it is still quite pleasant though. そんなになんか透明感が強くないね。この豆で。なんかミルクチョコやブラウンサートやキャラメルはそんなに分かってないけど、なんかそれの飲ませることを結構感じてると思う。そんなにクリアじゃないから。けどそれは悪くないけど。Maybe those notes feel more combined because they also go together. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing really unusual, right? To see any of these three combined with each other or only two of those. Usually... And I mean, these are just references for us to kind of have an idea of what it should taste like. But there's probably a variation that has the same three notes, but it's a little bit more clear because of the type of bean. But not all beans or all coffee needs to be super high quality, right? As long as it's pleasant. But you know, on the first drink, at least on my first cup, this is quite nice. I think this is like the previous blend, the humbler blend that we tried last stream. This is kind of similar in a way that we can also... this is probably something that would go well with desserts or sweets. because while there is some sweetness, at least when drank black, it's not anything overwhelming. So I think it would make a good complement for something that's more, for something like a dessert. And now I also think that if I don't know if it would make a good latte, but maybe a good cortado. A light roast espresso with a little bit of milk would be nice in this. 多分エスプレッソやコルタドみたいなミルクかけるドリンクにしたら美味しいと。I think flan would be good. Wouldn't flan be good? I think it would make a good macchiato also, but no caramel. Just milk. I think it would probably make a good macchiato. 多分マキアートをすればもう美味しいかも。けどキャラメルや砂糖つけなくてただ牛乳だけで。I hesitate on saying these things a little bit though because I do not have a lot of experience with light roast espresso. I usually drink darker roast espresso when I drank espresso. I really don't do it much anymore. But I do know that it's quite popular. So I want to think that it would be good. It's pretty different from the sweetness that we had on the previous blend. Those were beans from, I'll say Brazil and Colombia, if I'm correct. But that was like a mixture of processes and varieties, so it was super mixed up. This one's just one type of bean from one origin. Did I share the website? I don't think I did, right? これはこの豆のサイトだ。I believe it says the producer is Mariana de Carvalho Junqueira. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Portuguese. And it is effectively beans from just this single producer, which is Zatsu Salvanito. I believe Proud Mary ships internationally also, so if anyone's curious, you can purchase them. The shipping fees might be a little bit expensive depending on where you are, but the option is there. 今回はシングルオリジンだから、ただランチョサオベネディットの場所から豆をなんていうのプロセスしたね。Yeah, just a little bit of steamed milk would be good. Just a little bit of steamed milk. If only had actual coffee gear. You know, I was thinking now that holiday sales are gonna be happening soon, how would it be? Would you guys be interested if I did like a short list of recommended products or brands? I don't wanna... I think that should be fine, like within a budget, to see what you guys would want to look into when it comes to brewing coffee. そろそろクリスマスやホリデーセールがあるから多分みんなが興味あるかな。コーヒーギアおすすめなこととか初心者におすすめギアとかそんなに高くなくて。How about we think of that together? Let's see, let's see. So I've already talked about a few products, so. All right, let's do a budget. $1,000. Just kidding, like. $1,000 is probably too much. But let me see. King Grinder. How much are the King Grinder? Oh, the Timor C2 is on sale right now. I actually started using that on my coffee satsus before I upgraded. Alright, so let's see. What do we do? We're gonna focus on essentials, right? And I'm gonna assume that you guys have good water, and the beans do not count as well. $10. I don't think you can even buy beans for $10. Okay. Oh look, this is from when I was teaching Spanish to you guys. Okay. So let's go with a grinder. King Grinder. I think the P2 is pretty good for the price. Dripper. Hario base 60 is under. It's probably my recommendation for something inexpensive that is super good. It's like what? It should be like. Oh. What, $13? Let's do 15 just in case. これはドルね. I'm doing US dollars as a reference, but of course it's gonna depend. Kindergarten, yeah, the kindergarten grinder. Paper filters. I would just say get the filters. Get the cheapest one. Hario, maybe. You know what? I'm just gonna Hario, Kafik. Just get whichever is cheaper. Between those two, these two are very good and they're not that expensive. Kalita filters are for Kalita drippers, like flat cone. I mean flat bottom drippers. ハリオは間違いないけど、まあグラインダーなら、まあハリオのグラインダーは、初めてのグラインダーだったから今も、他の弾きやすい種類があるから、ミルはハリオしなくてもいいと思う。Hario was actually, Hario has their own grinder, which is pretty good. But back then, it was like one of the first grinders. So I think now there's way more options that have features that the Hario grinder did not have back then. It was very important though. And yeah, no, the Hario V60 papers are very, filter papers are very inexpensive. I've used them for quite a while and still have a few laying around just in case. And now, kettle. I would just say gooseneck. That would be, okay. How much was the kettle that I got? ケトルね。まあ、正直、高いやついらないけど。Because I have the Timor fish, but that's like $100. That's like $130. So if you already have a kettle, what I would recommend is something like, can I maybe something like this, which is under $15. Like you can get something like this for like $10 to $15. Wait. まあケトルがまあグーズネックケトルはちょっと高いからね。僕がティーモアフィッシュ使ってるから、まあ初心者にただコーヒー入れるの興味ある人にこんな感じのカップおすすめです。This kind of kettles, basically you would just boil the water on your normal kettle and then pour it into these servers. And that would be... And you can just pour like a normal gooseneck kettle. That's what I used when I first started my coffee satsu, so you can get pretty far, and you don't really need temperature like a thermometer for the kettle. What you can do is just leave it open for like 10 seconds, and that should be fine for most rows. If you're doing dark rows, then leave it for 15. Medium rows, do it for like 13, something like that. それなんかまあなんていうの、ちょっと待って温度っていうかな温度はそんなにわからなかったら普通のケトルで、まあ、ただケトルのリッドのカップのリッドを開けてただ10秒ぐらいに待てたらそれは十分だ普通に。So I would say like a gooseneck server, and we can do like, and I believe this one's $12, but it shouldn't go over 20. You should be able to get from $8 to like $15, depending. And then as for a scale, you can just use any kitchen scale. You don't need anything fancy, but if you want something with a timer, I mean, I'm using the Team More. Yeah, like I see, for example, two here that are like $21, $23. Like just get the cheapest kitchen scale and then use your phone as a timer, right? Like I see some under $10. I'm just referring to Amazon right now, but I'm sure there's something else. Timer your phone. There you go. I think that would be like the most basic budget setup that I could recommend, maybe. You can do the Haru switch for like $30. And make it, and you'll have a little bit more versatility, but this works pretty well. Put the price on the phone. I assume most people have a phone that has a timer or a stopwatch. Something like that, right? So, I mean, in total, that would be less than $100, right? まあこれは$100以下のおすすめギアだ。スケールなら、まあ、普通のキッチンスケールだなら十分だ。タイマーいらないでしょ？スマホ持ってるから。If you don't have a phone with a timer, then maybe spending $10 more on like a kitchen scale or a coffee scale with a timer, then that's probably fine. How much for the coffee too? That's gonna be up to you. How much, what kind of beans you buy. But this is mostly gear. Yeah, no, usually... I mean, even if you have expensive gear, you're gonna end up spending more money with the beans. But maybe, okay, so this is $80, around $80. So if you want to spend a little bit more, what would I recommend? It's kind of hard to go under $100 though, after this. Like, maybe you could get the King Rider K1 instead. Just around, what? 66? That ends up being a little bit over $100, but... Or maybe Timor C2. How much is a Timor C2 usually? Timor C2 is usually more expensive on Amazon, but I believe in other vendors it can be even as low as $30. But for example, right now it's on sale for $60. So yeah, I think something like this would be pretty good. I think the King Grinder is what Zeal ended up getting. The P2. Because he's just starting out, so... I think that's what he uses. But yeah, this should be way more than good enough. Then after that, it's just about getting good beans, right? Especially if you're starting. まあ、これは結構十分だよ。十分。見るなら、じゃあ、この種類でいいけど、もちろんなんか、Easy Press ならおすすめできるけど、それは別に$100以上だから。So if anyone's interested in getting some gear, you can maybe look out for it to see if there's any sales for these. Of course, there's like fancier kettles that you can get. But you don't really need to spend a lot of money to start brewing coffee. Because I didn't at first. I didn't have any. So it's all thanks to you guys and your support. Now, what I use... Oh, man. I don't want to put the prices. 次は僕使ってるギアね。Comandante... Oh, no, that's... Yeah, Comandante... C40. I don't use my Timor C2 anymore, so I'm just gonna put the... C40 here. Dripper, I have the Origami Air M. I have the Hario V60. I have the Hario Switch. Filters, I usually use Kofik. Kofik or Hario actually, yeah, but usually more Kofik. Kettle, I have the Timor Fish. What was it called? What was the scale? Timor scale. What was it called? Whoa. Oh, mirror. I think it's called mirror. Team mirror plus, I think? Oh no, it's a scale. Team more mirror plus. And I mean, it has a timer already. That's what I'm using. まあ、今はこれ使ってるね。一番使ってるドリッパーは折り紙 RM だけど。Dripped out setup. And yeah. That's what I'm using. How long have you been brewing coffee for? I think I started doing drip coffee around, what? 4 to 5 years ago, maybe? I started out with just a V60, a Timor C2. No, I actually started with like a very cheap grinder that wasn't not even like branded. It was like an imitation of the Hario grinder. Someone gifted it to me, so I started with that. And then I got the Timor C2 on sale. And I would use the Hario filters. I had no kettle, no specific kettle. Just a regular kettle, and I would use the little server like this. To pour the water. I would basically just boil the water, pour it here, maybe wait a little bit, like a few seconds. But the thing is, when you're pouring the water into the server, it already helps you cool it down a little bit. So it was actually pretty good. I brewed a lot of good cups with this. So it's definitely not a bad option if you don't want to spend too much on a gooseneck kettle, especially if you're not sure if you're gonna enjoy pour over. So yeah. そうだね。まあ多分僕は5年前ぐらいにハンドドリップを始めたね。あの時はハリオミルのクローン使ってたね。それをプレゼントだったからマジで大変だったよ。引くの遅くて腕痛かったよ。疲れてた。あとでティーモアのシートを買ってそれ使ってたね。そしてドリッパーは普通のプラスチックな V60 使ってた。There's something else, another strategy that you can use if you don't even want to buy the little server. If you don't want to buy something like this, what you can use is get a spoon, use the backside of the spoon, and pour it over the backside of the spoon. That way, the flow of the water is going to be way more gentle compared to like if you're pouring straight from a normal kettle. And maybe with enough practice, you can get really good at just controlling the flow with the spoon. そうね、普通のケトル持ってる人、このみたいなサーバーを買わなくて、まあ、スプーンでも入れてみるね。スプーンの下に注いだら、お湯の注ぐを優しくなるから、そうやって、ハンドドリップを入れると。多分、いっぱい練習したら、上手くなれると思う。いいわさね。I have never tried doing that though. That seems too difficult for me. That's an interesting question. Are there any specific cleaning methods to keep in mind to take extra care of the equipment? I would say usually you don't not wash the grinders. I have a little brush that I use to clean the parts of the grinder every now and then. And as for the drippers, they're super easy to clean because they're just plastic. They're just little cones. You throw away the paper, the filter paper with the grounds in it, and you just wash it with water, and that's completely fine. そうね、なんか掃除ならそんなに難しくないね。ドリッパなら、ただ、ミルを吸って、じゃあ、水で掃除して、洗っていいよ。そしてグラインダーなら、ブラシでメンテナンスしてますね。スプチャットありがとうございます。Is the thin neck of the kettle not hard to clean? I mean, I only use the kettle for water, so I just clean it with water. Just make sure it's completely dry when not using to avoid any rust. Any rust or any mold. But you definitely do not want to wash the grinder. You can, if it gets really dirty, you can separate the parts, disassemble it, and then use a little paper towel or a towel to moisten it and dry it yourself. But definitely do not wash the grinder when it's assembled. That is not good. Not good at all. 早振りよ。冷蔵庫の牛乳がなくなりました。でもコーヒー飲みたい。でもブラック苦手。ブラックコーヒー飲むコツがあれば教えてください。まあ自分で引いてなかったら難しいね。けどちょっとなんか低めをコントロールできたらもっと粗め引いて、そんなに早く注いだらそんなになんていうの日本語でそんなに集中しないからさせないからあんまり苦くなりますね。そして日本の噂もあるね。オスモティックフローみたいな感じ。お湯注ぐときにただ真ん中だけで注いだらそんなに苦くならない。そうやって日本のキサは房入りを入れてる。深入りね。房入りじゃなくて深入り。Alright, so I got a pretty interesting questions like I run out of milk, but I want to drink coffee. However, I'm pretty bad with drinking black coffee, so what can I do to make it a little bit easier to drink? And I mean, this is a little bit difficult if you cannot control the grind. I usually say grind coarser, that way you minimize the amount of extraction when you're brewing the coffee. Something you can do is also make sure to pour hot water only in the middle. This is the Japanese osmotic flow method. That way you minimize the amount of extraction on the grinds. And that's how Japanese coffee shops tend to like brewing dark roasts. So there's a few things you can do. But usually, like, being able to control the grind and then buying the beans you buy also take a big factor to it, right? Of course, it's not gonna be the same drinking a light roast black than drinking a dark roast black, right? そしてなんかもちろん浅入りと深入りならもちろん浅入りの方が飲みやすいと思うね。コーヒー初心者にブラックで。Sweeter notes? I would actually recommend fruitier notes. Fruitier notes and floral notes are a little bit more less to go on the bitter side or super acidic side. So I usually recommend fruitier coffees. It doesn't have to go on the tart kind of fruity, but maybe the sweeter side of fruity, like some of the strawberry coffees that I've tried. And as someone that does not like strawberry. Instant インスタントならね、インスタントは難しいね。やっぱり。インスタントだったらもっとお湯注いだら頑張れ頑張ってね、もっとお湯注いで飲めるようになるまで。なんかあまりしょうがないと思う。I mean, if it's instant, there's not much you can do though. あまりアドバイスをあげなくてすまんね。How can coffee taste fruity? Well, coffee comes from a fruit. Coffee's originally a fruit, so depending on how it's grown, it can have a variety of tasting notes. And then what if we don't have spray to spray water to the beans before grind? Is a spoon of water good? I mean, it's really not necessary unless you have the problem of whatchamacallit? Of static sticking to your grind, so it will really depend on your environment, but you can use a little droplet of water also. That's what I did before I had a spray, and I mean, I just got a very cheap kind of perfume-like spray to use. You really don't need anything fancy, just something that can spray. Just wash it and use it. If you have an old perfume that's running out, you can use that, just wash it. Don't really need anything super fancy. And as for Japanese brands that I can recommend, it's kind of hard. I have not tried a lot. Like I've gone to a few coffee shops in Japan, but I have not tried a lot of brands themselves. My coffee oshi Tetsukashi has his own store called Philo Coffee in Japan, where you can probably like buy stuff, some beans there. But have not tried them, so I don't know. I just trust him, and it's something that I would want to try. The only type of coffee that I bought was from Pharaoh's Coffee, but I had to go to the physical store there. I think they sell online as well. I bought coffee from there and it was delicious. It was some of the best coffee I've had. And it was even before I got my fancy gear, so it was good with my beginner gear. It was a type of like cherry noted coffee that was processed fermented in a barrel. It was really nice. And as for water, right, water is very important. So what you want to do for water is that you want to make sure it's soft water. Whoa. You want to make sure it's soft water. It does not have to be like distilled. If you brew coffee with distilled water, it's a little bit it's gonna be a little bit bland. You do want some minerals, but you want it not to be tap water. Depending on how soft. If it's pretty soft, that's fine. But yeah, no. Buying filtered water, carbon filtered water, I use reverse osmosis water personally. And that works fine for me. So yeah, probably not too many minerals. そうね、お湯ならまあ、お湯も結構大事だね。そんなにミネラルつけなくて方がいいと思う。ソフトなお湯だと思う。Wait, let me close all of these. Tap water tends to have a lot of minerals that really affects the taste of the coffee. I personally cannot even drink tap water by itself. It doesn't taste good to me. Nihon no suidosui nara ma ikeru kana? Wakaran ne. Nansui nara ii kedo. Ma, filter tsuketara ii kana. It's really gonna depend on when you live, yeah. レモンクリームさん、つぶちゃとありがとうございます。フリちゃん、今朝もありがとう。実はいつもの眠そうな声で始まるコーヒーサツも大好きだ。仕事のモチベ上がるため、コーヒーギアを、徐々に、集めて、自分の、機嫌を取ってる。台湾行けないけど、行かれるドレミンと思いっきりリラックスして楽しんでね。報告楽しみにしてます。ありがとうございますね。新しいギアを買うの楽しいでしょ。いつもなんか、どんどんギア処理を増えて。Asking local baristas what water they use is nice too. That's a pretty good idea also. If you guys have a nice coffee that you like, I'm pretty sure they're more than happy. The baristas are more than happy to talk about coffee. They're most likely really into it. So at least if it's like a specialty coffee store. I forgot to change my microphone setting the whole time. Like back to normal. マイク設定戻るの忘れちゃったわ。This should be back to normal. Oh man. I had completely forgotten. No wonder, like, the background sounds were more audible than usual. Oh, it's still the same mic. It's just a different setting on it. I was using it on omnidirectional mode, so you guys could hear the coffee brewing sounds a little bit more in the ASMR section, but this time I am on hypercardioid mode, so it's a little bit more focused on my voice. Yeah, no, I believe the sound should be a little bit more intimate right now compared to earlier. マイク設定変わって、声がもっと近くした気がするでしょ。オムニディレクショナルからハイパーカルディオイドにしたから。We don't use tap water either. Latin America is I believe in most places, at least where I grew up in Latin America, you cannot drink tap water. It's poisonous for you. So even if it's drinkable here, I did not do it. I cannot stand the taste. And it just feels wrong. It just feels wrong. そうね、ラテンアメリカ育ってた場所で、なんていうの、なんか水道水を全然飲めないから。全然慣れてないね。味も嫌だ。こっちも飲めるけど、味は嫌だ。なんかちょっとなんか、罪悪感があるかなCan you boil it before drinking? But we usually have some alternatives that are way easier. So having to boil water each time before drinking, and not only that, because it's tap water, it's gonna taste pretty bad. It's not practical, I think. I feel like for me, tap water tastes super metallic. Extremely metallic. I cannot take it. 個人的になんか、水道水の味はちょっとなんかメタルみたいな感じから。やだよ。やだ。まあ、除水器使ってもいいけどね。味は全然変わるでしょ。Of course, there's some filters that you can install in your faucets that completely filter the minerals and change the flavors. So that's also an option. I've never dealt with that, but I know for some people it's a big deal. Tetsu っぽいよ、鉄っぽい。Yeah, absolutely. It depends on regions. It really does. Anyways, I think there's mostly a pure coffee satsu this time. But I think I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream soon. Just I don't know if I have any remaining super chats, but maybe we can give it another good 15 minutes before ending the stream. まあ今回は100% のコーヒー話だったね。そろそろ終わると思います。スーパーチャットも全部読めたと思うから、じゃあまああと15分ぐらいに終わります。I think I kind of want to balance a little bit more the time that I'm doing my streams with. Of course, a lot of the games I play require or end up with me having long sessions, but I also want to balance a little bit more. Not just outside activities regarding work, but also my voice. So for now, I'm gonna try and not yap for like 5 hours like I can do on the coffee satsus. Then as for next week, I don't really have anything I can spoil, I guess, yet. I definitely want to try and play some more Silk Song. It's been a while since we last played. And of course, there's going to be the event in Taiwan. Hope you guys join us there soon. But yeah, no, other than that, just please look forward to the schedule, right?ね、今週のあまりネタバレできないね。まだ決まってないから。けどできればシールソングをつきたいね。久しぶりだから。そして台湾のイベントが行うし、それも楽しみにしてるね。Susu, thanks so much for the super chat. She said, thank you for the coffee thoughts today. Rest well after stream. Thank you very much. Likewise, everyone. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Thank you very much. Oli, thanks so much for the super stickers. She said, Mega Shikune, muchas gracias por el super chat. Seré un botmin hoy, pero igual quería agradecerte por compartir tu conocimiento del café con nosotros. No, igualmente, muchas gracias por pasarte a escuchar y estar dispuesto a abrir el mundo del café con nosotros. Gracias, gracias. Abrir... no sé si esa es la palabra correcta. Expandir el mundo del café con nosotros, ¿no? Porque sé que muchos no son tan ñoños como yo de él. Sobre hacer café como estilo hand drip. Aru, thanks so much for the super chat. Thanks for the stream. Couldn't bring this up naturally, but I watched Angel's Egg in theaters last month and have been thinking about it ever since. I was wondering what you thought of the movie, like interpretations and such. That's probably gonna require a more dedicated stream for it. I can probably go very long about Angel's Egg. I don't know when I'll do that, but I'm sure we'll naturally show up in conversation sometime. But thank you for watching. It's my favorite film, so there's definitely a lot to think and a lot to talk about when it comes to that film. Thank you. Dempsey, thanks so much for the super chat. 谢谢你，谢谢 for the katsu. For the coffee satsu, Kapitan. Matcha kit funds here. Thank you very much. One day we'll have the matcha satsu. I don't know when, but one day. Mint Rain, thanks so much for the super chat. The weather today is cold and rainy, perfect for sleeping. I almost didn't want to get out of bed. Thank you for the stream today. Enjoy the rainy weather. It's one of my favorites when you're inside. And some of the perfect times to drink coffee, so. Enjoy. ペピさん、サブチットありがとうございます。フリオくん、今日も配信ありがとう。ギリギリですいません。クリンギーボイス聞きました。今回もめっちゃ良かったです。自作台本がどう聞いてもいいですか？内容だったら大丈夫です。今回は自作台本じゃないけど、自作のなんか台本のディレクションはスタッフさんと僕をいろいろ決めてたね。別に自作台本ならポストするときに教えますね。And yeah, no, thank you so much everyone that listened to the Clingy Boys voice pack. I was asked if this is a self-written script, and no, it is not. Usually if it's a self-written script, I will announce that it is on the X promotions, but even if it's not, I do have a pretty big influence on the direction. I do think a lot about how I want to approach certain voice packs, so I work together with Staff-san when it comes to that. So I am still in control. Akaivara, thanks so much for it. Super Chat, joined a bit late today, but glad to still catch you live. Thanks for the equipment recommendations. I already had some on my Christmas wish list and added more. Let's go. Hope you can enjoy some gear if you're able to buy some on sale. As for the voice pack, yeah, it's that was definitely the most embarrassing voice pack so far, but it's a good opportunity to explore some sites that I probably wouldn't do so on stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think that's a really fun thing about situational voices, is that I can bring out a variety of sites in a safe space. It was really interesting seeing your impressions also. そうね、今回はボイスグースね。甘えん坊ボイス。まあ。やっぱり恥ずかしいね。今まで一番恥ずかしいボイスグースだったわ。まあ、シチュエーションボイスだからいろいろやってみるね。表情とか。それは楽しいと思うけど、まあ、恥ずかしかった。みんなの感想面白かったと思った。銀さん、すべてありがとうございます。コーヒーサスさん、ありがとう。初心者向けのギアをおすすめしてくれてありがとう。もうすぐパペが届くので、めっちゃ楽しみ。台湾イベントをモチベとして今週も頑張ります。ありがとうございますね。確かに。早くパペついたらいいね。It would be good if the pape starts shipping and arriving soon, right? Before the holidays, that would be great. I wonder. But anyways, I believe we were able to read all the super chats, so I'm gonna be ending here. まあ、super chat 全部読めたと思うし、ここ終了させていただきます。I'll see you guys, at the latest on Wednesday. But otherwise, I am not completely sure. But I'll see you guys next week, okay? Or this week for people on the other side of the world. Lenny, thanks so much for the super chat. Thank you for the coffee stream. The rec list is really helpful. We'll definitely look into it during Christmas sale. Clingy Vice book was also very good. Take care. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. Hope you can find some of the gear on sale. じゃあ、ここで終了させていただきますね。一番遅いなら、木曜日に会いましょうね。あの時よろしくお願いします。じゃあみんないい日過ごしてね。Everyone have a nice day today. Take care. Bye bye, bye bye. We're gonna be redirecting to Claude Senpai, who's doing a satsudan as well. And I'll see you guys next time. じゃあ今、クロード先輩も殺談してるからそこにリダイレクトしましょうか。